been driving for 14 hours. Picked up my family in Atlanta airport, and I finally made it out here. Had a good night's sleep, and we are at Tallulah Gorge, where I've been before. They haven't. Everybody's sleepy. So there's a trick to this whole exercise. You gotta get the permit to do the floor hike of the Tallulah Gorge, and the trick is to get there before anybody else does, because they only have 100 spaces. So that's what we're gonna do. Okie dokie, so we have made it across the canyon on the other side, about to go down this crazy 45-degree incline. This is the second entrance to the park. Requires permit. And one thing that I didn't know about this, just looking at the sign, I know that Valenda family has crossed the canyon, but what I didn't know is that this property actually belongs to them. Look at that. It says right there, entering private property trail courtesy of Valenda LLC. So in essence, this up here belongs to them. Another thing is, if you don't go to the park, if you notice there's a car over there, there's actually a parking lot. And it says something somewhere about, oh, look at this. Look at those bastards with their drone signs. Those things are plastered all across the park. It's kind of hilarious that they put FAA in there, because FAA has not restricted flying over. FAA has nothing to do with flying over this. They have restricted and just slapped the FAA sign on top of it. FAA cannot restrict the use of drones here. It's more of a private matter to do with the actual park. So there's a bit of misappropriation of signage. That you see over there is Valenda Tower. So effectively, if we go this way, the cable was stretched from there across the and the guy walked, and then the rest of the trail we're gonna be going down. And then since the stairs are broken, a tree fell past the bridge, so we kind of had to do the whole loop around the entire thing. They said something like at least 2 weeks to fix it, but either way, we're gonna be going down this crazy hill. We're gonna be crossing the water, doing the hike, up the river, down the river, swimming again, hiking up. Effectively, we're doing the hike twice. That's what we're doing. So now that we're all rested, time to start the hike. Now, if you guys notice, I'm picking my path really carefully, and the reason why is because obviously with all of my knee situation, this officially is the first hike that I've had post car accident. Well, the hike that's worth mentioning, really, because the other ones, they were kind of like okay, but this up here, this is stuff for an average person. You can only imagine what it's like when you have a bad knee. So my goal is to take my time slowly and zig and zag as much as I can. And look at them sliding over there. Good people. Oh my goodness. You know, I've been here twice before, and this is just as spectacular as I remember. Truly, truly spectacular. And I'm doing this to the best of my abilities. So yeah, guys, as we're hiking down the trail up here, take your time. It's I've only climbed it up. I've never climbed it down. So this is a first for me, that's for sure. And another thing is, don't fall face forward, obviously. And if you need to scoot on your butt, that's totally fine. Which I'm gonna do right now. You. I'm okay. Just taking my time. You know, have to say, out of, you know, for a guy that has done quite a bit of hiking, and I'm not talking like, hey, let me go out to local county park kind of thing, but like this kind of hiking. This hike up here is just incredible. Reminds me of a similar thing we did at Yellowstone to look at the Grand Prismatic Spring. But hopefully that should do the trick still. I know. Look at that. Another thing, this hike that we're doing, and I have to pay a tribute to first time I was out here, obviously still in good health. We did this trek up, and entire trail I was followed by a couple who had, well, the lady definitely had weight issues. Talking about 300 pounds plus. So determination could get you to still enjoy this wonderful piece of beauty. There's my mom. Как ты там, мамуська? Нравится тебе? А мы сразу обратно не идем. А сейчас нет, я в порядке. Obviously, being Russian, you could hear Russian speech in the background. And if you notice, there's people taking other alternative paths. So this is not the only way to get down. This is just a way. There's really no official trail down. This is just sort of a make up your own trail thingamajig. Another thing, previous 2 times I've done this with sneakers. This time I have actual hiking shoes, and so I'll be able to kind of reflect on that at the day's end. Keeps my legs somewhat stable. Guess what? We're only a third way down. Maybe like a fifth way. So this fun just keeps going on and on and on. There's it in you. Look at them. Yeah, this is one really cool hike. I'm just so privileged to be able to take you on this trip. So, realistically, with the scope of my knee injuries over the period of my life, my knee brace is pretty much a must-have at this point. So, this is Danjoy knee brace. Pretty much the creme de la creme, as they call it. Madly expensive, but as you see, considering that it's made for professional athletes, it allows you to perform acrobatics like this. How cool is this? There's walls of the gorge all across us, so you're essentially hiking to the backdrop of a vertical cliff up front over there. So it's truly a spectacular place to be, that's for sure. I am grinning like a Cheshire cat. This is what we've been climbing down. You know, it's one thing when you look down at it like this, right? But then when you actually look up at the sheer scale of what you've accomplished, this is an achievement, that's for sure. Look at this guy laying there on the. Look how beautiful this is. Hey, how you doing? That's the tornado alarm. No, that's tornado. Around 12 o'clock they said.
Oh, so this is supposed to happen?
Yeah.
I really don't think that there's the conditions for a tornado, but okay.
Well, they
Just a drill.
they're gonna say that this is just a test, blah blah blah.
I think they should say that first.
They should. But that would be way too easy.
Yeah. A little adrenaline.
So, in case you're wondering what's the update so far, if I told you that my knees were shaking, that's an understatement. Every single step, my feet are trembling, and that's not because I'm afraid, but rather because in the past 2 years of inactivity, the muscles that used to be there are no longer where they're supposed to be. So the alarm that you just heard in the camera They test out the whatchamacallit. They test out the tornado alarm, and apparently this area gets nasty thunderstorms. This is called Raboone or something County. Oh, and in case you just noticed, I just took a different trail. So really, there is no trail. You could zig and zag, like I said. And if, as many times as you walk this trail, you can never take, or I mean, I guess you can, but you could take different paths every time. But at least we're sort of halfway, I think. I hope. Maybe. You know, it looks far less menacing looking down than it actually is. It's not until you have to sort of navigate through all of this stuff. Hey, there's a lizard over there. Fancy Tyrannosaurus Rex looking thing. Has stripes and I guess it's not too surprised to see people out here. You know, the one welcoming sign of all of this is that thankfully you're underneath tree canopy. And then another sort of welcoming sign is the fact that you could hear waterfalls stronger and stronger. So that kind of gives you a moral boost to continue. At least you know where you are, because like out here you have no idea other than looking at the other side. It is so tempting to just go down the rock and slide. Oh my goodness. But have to be sensible. I'm not exactly a young buck anymore. Here, one of my sisters left a stick out here. Must be heading the right way. Look at them. They're probably already swimming, for all that I know. And that's kind of what's keeping me going. I'd like to go faster, but not with a messed up knee.
That's all that matters.
Yep.
You almost there? We're almost there. I hear it. Water can travel a long way. Yep. Where's our team?
Well, I've been getting rest, letting them by, so I'm okay. They're like mountain gazelles jumping all over the rocks. Go ahead.
I think so.
Come on.
Excuse me.
them just running down the hill.
Oh, no, we are not running. Oh, he's trying to get there. It's supposed to be a recovery.
Oh, is it?
Yep.
After the stairs, I'm guessing?
Yeah.
Oh, this is the end. Oh my goodness. That means now if you notice other people running about me, if you have physical prowess, obviously you could do it there and back again in no time at all. It's just you have to have the balls of steel, as they say, and the physical capacity. No matter how many times I told them, they just didn't want to listen. And there, look at them. Oh, look, there's a waterfall. Across. There's a waterfall. I haven't seen that before. How cool is that? And this is the Bridal Veil Falls, where people go down this water slide. By the way, between the last two times and this time, this has gotten to be awfully bumpy. If you notice, the actual river flow has changed. Previously, water used to go sort of straight. Now, all of the water is going this way. Makes it for a rather bumpy ride. There's also a couple of places where you could severely bruise yourself. But if you come back here to swim, you see where all this water is churning? Right over there. If you could lodge your feet in there somewhere and sort of park yourself, you could actually go over it that way. Another thing, and this is just sort of like an FYI, get yourself a pair of swimming goggles. You're gonna thank me for it. It is so cool to swim over there. All through there, there's like finger formations that go 20 feet deep. And if you could hold your breath and if you could equalize, you could get all the way to the bottom. And there's catfish and other fish, all sorts of fish. There's also a waterfall. See where the guy's standing? Sort of there. Really good looking. And there's also a waterfall there, sort of behind this tree. I've seen that they've moved the rope. The rope used to be there. This trip, it's here. It is slippery coming back up, so just be careful. Another trick to cross this river, obviously get yourself a dry bag. I've been resourceful. I told my family about it. And they still wouldn't listen, so over there you could see one of our shoes that accidentally fell in the water and ended up going all the way from there, sort of up here, down there, and was caught over there. So now we got a wet shoe and a whole week of hiking ahead of us. In my RV, I actually have like feet, I don't know what to call them. They're like orange looking things. You slide them in and they got two propellers and everything. Bought them in Lake Placid, New York. So another little trick, if you notice, every single hump, like there and there and there, it looks sort of like this underwater. So if you could wedge your feet like there. Another thing, if you have a dry bag and you need to cross, sling it on your back and sort of skimmy on your force across here, like this is the shallower point. Some people throw stuff across there. That's how we lost the shoe. It's kind of deep in there too. So, but this place is just as awesome as I remember it. It is just truly spectacular. Really a blessing to come out to places like this. You know, the weird thing is, as I was coming up, I stopped at several places and people never even heard of Tallulah Gorge. I think it's a crime not to go, certainly if you're within drivable vicinity. So taking family on the trip to see the other waterfalls while we're out here. That will give us a little bit of time to rest and whatnot. And oh, whew. I recorded a bunch of this back when I was here the first couple of times. Вау. Передаете по кругу дальше, передавайте. И ты тоже там помахай.